I'm always here. Come on, coffee, finish. Coffee, I want to drink you. I wonder if people start watching the beginning of these shows and think, what does this have to do with martial arts? And you know what? We get there. It just takes a minute. It's a morning show. It's not all about martial arts the whole time. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Wednesday. It is May 12th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I may have made that a little strong. Wow, that's good. I hope you had a solid Tuesday. I hope you're looking forward to your Wednesday. I'm still trying to figure out my plan for the day. I may have a shot at going to Taekwondo. I've been saying that the last few Wednesdays. And, well, I do have a shot. The question is it going to work out? And I don't know. I don't know. Did a little bit of kicking last night. Not much. Had a massage. Had a friend reach out. She's a massage therapist. And she said, this was a few weeks ago. She said, I feel bad about what happened with your father and some of the other things that have happened this year. She said, just as your friend, I want to support you. And the best thing I know to do is to give you a massage. And so drove to her office and had an awesome massage. And thought about going to the gym after and just said, you know what? I'm just going to go home and chill out. And I did. And that's not something that I do often. That's not my attitude typically. And I needed it, and I did it, and I'm glad. Now, what happened in the world of whistlekick yesterday? Well, let's see. Had a bunch of emails going back and forth on a bunch of little projects, little things, big things, medium things, just things. And everything's on track. Everything's on track. With the team that we have, not everybody is available for more stuff, and honestly, some of them don't want to do certain things. So, got to figure out who the best person is for certain stuff. But I'm looking forward to where things are headed. Did a bunch of client work. Where did I have for dinner? Well, dinner was tacos. What was lunch? Fish and vegetables. Pretty solid day. Plants are getting big. I think I planted the zucchini a little too soon. And those aren't going out until what? Another week and a half. I'll have to double check. There's a chance I can put things out sooner, but it's unlikely. Yeah, so that's about it to report for yesterday. Now today's gonna be a fairly boring day, fairly straightforward day. I got work. There's work to be done. Some work from yesterday I did do. The rest of the week is fairly light, which is nice. I can get through some projects and some email and have like a normal week. With the podcast recording schedule we have, being that it's an every other week thing, the weeks that I have podcasts, Monday's busy for meetings, Tuesday's busy from podcast recording. So by the time Wednesday hits, I'm busy. I got a lot to do. And it's Thursday and even Friday before I catch up. But the other week, it's kind of light. It's kind of nice. Monday's busy, but then I get a lot done Monday afternoon and Tuesday. And by the time Thursday rolls around, I'm like, all right, I can move the businesses forward. Yeah. It's kind of a nice thing. The Master of Origin Hopkick book arrived yesterday. It's sitting on my side table. I'll try to remember to show it to you tomorrow. It's in my cup. It's sitting on my side table next to my bed. I've just barely cracked it. I haven't really dug into it far, but it's the first book that we've released that I had almost no involvement in. I read and was involved in the first draft that someone else wrote, But Jenny said, this needs some work. So she took it and she completely rewrote it, and certain sections were completely changed. Well, it's out now. And I'm sure it's great, because I started reading early chapters and said, there's nothing here I have to fix. I would kind of just rather wait until you're done so I can read it and enjoy it like everyone else. So she put some time into it, put a lot of time into it. She's really proud of it, as she should be. So I'm excited to see how that goes. The Master Hopkick is of course our children's character, and so this book is the piece that we've kind of been waiting for to really kick off a bunch of stuff with him. There are things that we've done. We've got a whole coloring and activity book that we did. It's available on Amazon. I don't think we've ever sold one. There are short stories about Master Hopkick. We've done clothing that the market wasn't ready for. So we're working on that. Now, I finished everything that I needed to finish for the strength and speed hybrid program. And so you know what we're working on today? Flexibility. I'm going to start sketching out the flexibility program, because that's the one we're going to give away for free. Completely free. In the hopes that people will see it and say, this is pretty good. I'd like to check out other stuff from these guys. And when I say free, I don't mean jump through hoops free. I don't mean you got to sign up. I don't mean you've got to give us it's just going to be a free download. I'm going to make it as easy as possible. Why not? And of course, we will encourage people throughout to come back and check out other programs. And then I think the one after this will be the one after this, I'm not sure what it will be. We'll have to see. I've got a couple ideas. But we're going to test it. The cat's laying there and I can't tell if she's dead. Azusa. She's laying funny. Hold on. Okay, you're alive. Just checking. She's alive. She was laying very strange. So the next program, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think we're going to try releasing that one as a pay what you think it's worth, or pay what you want. And we'll see how this goes. I think there's a big change coming in the world of the internet. Here's why I think this. And if you, whether you're a martial arts school or maybe some other business, why will my room stay closed? Or some other business, maybe you can use this information to your advantage. If you take a look at social media right now, everybody's promising everything. I don't know about you, but whistlekick, one of the categories we're listed under, is a martial arts school. There really aren't great categories for what we do, but we do spread information about martial arts, and I figure that's kind of a martial arts school. So we get targeted. I get targeted with ads for getting more students. And in a given day, I'll probably see 3 to 5 different ones. And they're all promising these big things. And you've got all these other businesses promising these big things. And you've got courses promising you, we're going to teach you how to do A, B, and C, and you're going to make a bunch of money. And it's gotten so pervasive that I can't imagine people are going to believe these claims for much longer. I think a lot of people have become skeptical, but clearly there are enough people who aren't that they're paying for these things. Otherwise, the economics wouldn't work and people wouldn't sell them. But we're not far from that changing. Now, when that changes, what happens? If people don't believe what you're offering and they're not willing to pay to find out, what do you have to do? You have to give something away. Now, there are plenty of businesses that have this sort of a model. you can kind of think of our podcast as that. We give you a whole bunch of content. Hopefully you like it, you trust us, you'll buy a thing. But there are a lot of businesses doing that now. So how do you stand out? You give the thing away. You don't just build a relationship, but you say, you know what, we're going to build a relationship, we're going to give you the thing, and then if you find value in it, you give us some money. Now, is everybody going to do that? No. Are way more people going to take the thing for free, download it, read it, use it, than are going to pay for it? Absolutely. But how many do you need to pay for it to make it worthwhile? In the case of this flexibility program, how does that play out? Let's say thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people download it, use it. Don't pay for it. I'd rather that happen than nobody downloads it. If the amount of money we're going to make is the same, I'd rather what we do get out there for people. We could have charged for our podcast. There are podcasts that charge for old episodes or things. We don't do that. Because I'd rather the information gets out there. Because at some point, somewhere along the line, people are going to say, hey, what you guys do is great. Now, if you're a martial arts school, how do you use that coming trend to your advantage? You can give a free month. A lot of schools already do this. I would not give away a free uniform. In fact, maybe you give away the first few months and you make them pay for the uniform. Or maybe you give a free private lesson. There are a lot of ways you can slice this. What if you're not a martial arts school? What if you're a mechanic? If you're a car mechanic and you're looking for more business, maybe you give all of your existing customers and everybody that's been in the last 6 months a coupon for a free oil change. And you put right on the coupon, we're going to change your oil up to XYZ, up to this value. And if you want, we'll let you know about other things wrong with your car that we notice, but that's not what this is, right? It's got to be really free because people don't trust free. So you've got to make it obvious that it really is free. If it seems like a gimmick, they're not going to engage. And so what would the hope be? The hope would be that people enjoy the experience of coming into your auto shop. You could do this with anything. And I think that the world has become so cynical and so negative that it's the obvious next step. It's the correction in the opposite direction. And where does that go as everyone steps into that? I don't know. It's not going to happen in every industry because it doesn't need to. But any industry where there's a lot of competition, especially anybody selling anything online, this is going to be part of what happens. We've given out coupons for whistlekick.com before. Most of them don't get used. We had, I wasn't in the headspace to take advantage of it because I needed to get it all done by the end of last month. And my mind was still reeling from my father. But somebody approached and they said, hey, we have this online competition. We would love for you to sponsor. You could give out gift certificates. And in concept, I was fine with that. I just couldn't make it happen. I just couldn't get there. But when we've done that in the past, most of them aren't even used. Now, why would they not be used? Why would a gift certificate for an amount of money to get something for virtually free, if not completely free, because the amount that we typically do is enough to get like a t-shirt for free, why wouldn't somebody use that? Well, it's a couple reasons. One, they think it's a gimmick, or two, they don't want the thing. It's not even worth their time for them. Either is fine. But I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this trend. People don't trust the news. They don't trust what people say. They don't trust what they read. And it's just getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. So here's your opportunity to get out in front of it as I see it, and you can go from there. Let's see what you all gave me to talk about. If you have something you want me to talk about, how do you get it to me? Well, you got two ways. You can leave it in the comment section below this episode once the show closes, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. Or you can email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. And of course, if you are listening to this show, you're going to have to email me because there's nowhere to comment below. Well, maybe there is, depending on your platform, but I'm probably not going to see it. And looks like I got some stuff from Frank. As always, thank you to Frank. Shout out to Frank. Frank takes good care of me on this show. Today, May 12th, is International Nurses Day. This particular day was chosen because it was also Florence Nightingale's birthday. Didn't we learn not long ago that she founded the Red Cross? I think I learned that from this show. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse. That's a martial arts quote. You know what? We did a shirt at one point that I outgrew. So it's in the collection of old shirts. And by outgrew, I mean, I put on a little too much muscle and it looked funny. Looked like I was gonna pop out of it. I was a solid like size small a few years ago, but I'm definitely a medium, and it's not because it's because of muscle. I'm proud of that. But maybe we should bring this shirt back. The front of it was a whole bunch of excuses. I'm tired, I'm thirsty, my dog's sick, I have homework. And it was this really interesting montage of excuses. And the back, what did the back say? Something like, shut up and train. That's what the back said, shut up and train. I liked that shirt. Maybe we should do that shirt again. Oh, you want food? There's a surprise. She has descended into the worst place with her food I have seen her, where I can put food down and within minutes she wants other food. It's bad. It's really rough. Think about excuses in terms of martial arts. The people who progress, the people who, whatever line you're going to draw, those people work past excuses. Life gives us an infinite number of excuses. I'm tired. I'm sore. I'm feeling emotional. I want to relax. These are things I've said to myself just in the last few days. It's about priorities. If my priority was training, or I had a competition or a testing coming up, those excuses would fall far down the priority list. Those things, I would not value those things as much. I would value the training. And this is the secret that people don't tell you, is that your priorities shift. And they have to shift because life changes. And if it doesn't change, then you're probably a pretty boring person. You're probably pretty bored. Now, maybe not, and that's okay. There are people, we've had them on the show, who train an hour or two every day, and they love that part of their day. That's awesome. You know what? That's not me, and I don't think that's most people. Doesn't mean I'm not a martial artist. Doesn't mean I don't love training. Over the last year, a lot of us, our training has changed dramatically. And let's face it, most of us have trained far less. I miss it. For me, training has a lot to do with who I'm around and sharing my knowledge and gaining new knowledge. Training at home, it's a stopgap. It's something I do to try to keep my skills from degrading too much. You know where I think the next program is? Because I've thought about this. I'm tentatively calling it Kick Clinic because it would combine the principles of flexibility and strength and speed into making you a better kicker. We'll see. We'll see if I go there. It might. The challenge with that is, can I set it up in a way that regardless of how you kick, different styles, it will work? And I don't know. Number 2, the most important practical lesson that can be given to nurses is to teach them what to observe. There's another amazing quote that we can apply to martial arts. Where do you look when you have partner work? Where are you taught to look? Now, obviously, you don't look away. I've been taught 2 different things. Most of the schools I've trained at have taught me to look at the navel, the belly button, the center of the body. Because if I look at the center of somebody's body, I can see everything they're doing, assuming they're not too close. I've also been taught in some schools to look them in the eye because it's intimidating. I think there's value in both. I tend to look lower because I want to see what's going on with their feet. If it's a style where they don't kick, yeah, I'll bring my eyes up a little bit. But I want to know what's going on with those feet. I don't want any surprise kicks in the head. And if you're looking low enough, you should be able to see it. And it takes practice. One of the things that we don't do well in martial arts, in traditional martial arts, that I think is handled much better in more modern combative, especially competitive combative disciplines like MMA, is teaching people what to watch for that shows that they're going to initiate something. If we remember the concept that you have to initiate motion and that is slower than the technique and that it is generally quite visible, you look for things like, that shoulder pop up or head moves or whatever to start getting people going. And this is why a lot of people are in constant motion when they're sparring. Right? They're constantly moving, feet, hand, whatever. Because it's easier to hide that motion because it didn't go from rest to movement. The object at rest tends to stay at rest. Right? I think as traditional martial artists, the best thing that we can do to get practice at that is to watch other people spar. So the next time you're at a competition or you're watching people spar in your own school, hopefully you get the opportunity to watch them. And just as everything else is more exaggerated with lower ranks, if this is something you're working on watching for, watch the low ranks. Okay, he's about to raise his shoulder there. She just moved in this way, so she's probably going to kick like this. And as you get better and you can spot it, move up the ranks. And then ultimately, everybody does this. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody telegraphs. It just gets smaller, smaller, smaller. So if your skill with observing it gets better, you can spot it. Nature alone cures. What nursing has to do is to put the patient in the best condition for nature to act upon him. Oh, I like that. You can't outscience nature. You can simply work with it. Yes. The human body is wonderful at recovering, but we just need to make sure it's not overly stressed. A gunshot to the chest is kind of hard to recover from. So we take out the foreign object and keep the blood on the inside. Things like that. I think when you look at the body and healing and recovery in this way, I think a lot of things make sense. I think a lot of our choices make sense. My biggest disappointment with the broad messaging that came out over the last year was that none of it that I saw from any major outlets had to do with here's how you get healthier, remain healthy. Here's how you build your immune system. Here's why sunlight and going for a walk and cutting back on alcohol helps. On what, I forget whatever, there was an episode that Andrew and I did a couple weeks ago on getting people to come back to training. And I quoted the statistic of the average person gained like 41 pounds, the average male. And I got a correction from Richard Balick, and I appreciate Richard because he holds me accountable. He makes sure that he fact checks me, and sometimes I'm not completely right. And that statistic was right for only some. It was a certain age population had gained 41 pounds, but others had gained 25 or 30, I think it was. Still a lot of weight. Kind of the opposite direction we wanted people to go. Get some sunlight. I think we got one more. One more, and then I will send you on your way. How very little can be done under the spirit of fear. How very little can be done under the spirit of fear. Fear is a wonderful motivator, but I think only if you love the alternative. If there's something to lose that you love, I'm just going to leave that one. I'll let you work on that. Very little can be done under the spirit of fear. Now, I want to thank you for joining us today. Thanks for coming by, sharing a cup of coffee with me. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. And consider supporting us. If you're new, hit subscribe. We've been adding subscribers constantly, which I love. Last I looked, it was about one a day. Cool. I'll take that. And if you have feedback for anything, let me know. Jeremy@whistlekick.com or drop it below. I want to hear from you. I'm going to go tackle my day. Good luck on yours. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.